I feel like I just saw you guys, so I love coming back here. It's, you know, the cool thing too is being able to look at the you know, at your 24-hour, you know, little video feed there at home. So I sit down and watch you guys, and so I know what you guys do. So you guys better behave yourself. You know.
I behaved once, I didn't like it.
Uncle Chris is watching you, right? You know, like Big Brother is no, that's not it. Well, you know, I'm going to talk about what I consider to be kind of like a 3-year vacation. My wife and I got married right here in Florida. This is where we met in 1982. And we got back from our honeymoon, and we got into our house at Patrick Air Force Base. And we were kind of unloading dishes and things, and I had a knock at the door. So I said, well, who's that? Not too many people know that we live here. So, okay, well, I went over, and there was my second in command, and he said, just wanted to let you know that you got an assignment. I said, really? He said, where to? Germany. Okay, well, do you have any idea when we are supposed to get there? It was May. He says, by the end of September. Okay, thanks. And we turned around and said, okay, shove all the stuff that we don't need into the spare room and close the door. You know, well, we hung up, I don't know, sheets for curtains there. Why, you know, April figured, why should I make curtains, you know, when we're only going to be here a couple of more months? So off we were on what turned out to be a really, really neat 3-year honeymoon in Germany from 1982 to 1985. And then we went back again 10 years later. Totally different assignment, totally different place. And I guess you could say that was the second really big German vacation. And I thought it might be kind of neat to talk about, you know, Germany vacations, because after all, this is October, and you know what happens in October over there in the old country? Oktoberfest, exactly. And next week during the birthday bash, you might recall, if some of you who were there at the hymn singing, I know some of you were there. I'm going to be kind of doing German Oktoberfest type music, right? So that's going to be a lot of fun, and I'll be able to teach you guys some songs too. I'll kind of hold up a little, you know, big huge card, and you can kind of, you know, get to know some of the songs. Yeah, it was a pretty wealthy city, and it was spared the bombing that leveled most of big German cities, because there was really nothing of strategic value there to hit. So the buildings still retain their old 19th century charm. And we lived in a little place up in the mountains, about 12 kilometers. It's about a little over 7 miles or so north. It was just, you know, all straight up and then downhill all the way down, and that was really neat too. So the second tour in Germany was a very different assignment. The second tour was way up north. Everybody who's been to Germany, I'll bet you probably none of you have been to northern Germany. So I wasn't allowed to speak English, because I had to educate them the same way that their NCOs, their non-commissioned officers, educated them. They could not feel, these 25 young German guys, you know, I didn't want them to feel like they were getting a second-rate education, because I didn't know what I was doing. So, and that was a really different environment. You know, further south, that's where all the mountains are. When everybody thinks about Germany, you think, you know, and I'm going to be wearing it next week. I'm going to be wearing the little hat and the little lederhosen and everything else there. That's what you think about in mountains and stuff. Up north, flat as a pancake. But some of the most beautiful cities are there. Just, you know, all of these half-timbered houses. There's a city up north that has more half-timbered houses than any place I've ever seen down south. It is one of you get a chance to get to
Sie sprechen noch Deutsch.
Ja, ich spreche immer noch Deutsch. Ich musste auch
Deutsch.
Ich musste auch Deutsch auch in Deutsch unterrichten. Ich musste Deutsch unterrichten.
Having said that,
yes.
German, I was born in Hamburg.
Yes, I remember. I saw you on the on one video, and I thought, wow, I don't know him. But you were born in Hamburg. I remember you said that.
1940,
You were born in 1940.
and we were bombed out of Hamburg.
Yeah, 1943.
Yes,
The city was leveled. You had firestorms.
pretty much. And the joke
Yeah.
among residents was if you wanted to see the city of Hamburg, all you needed to do was find a big barrel and stand on the barrel, because that was how much was leveled.
Yeah. So in 1940. So when did you come to the United States?
1949,
1949.
I was 9.5 when we immigrated here.
Oh my goodness. So that's interesting. It was right there. We actually lived north of Hamburg in Schleswig-Holstein in a little place called Uedersee. We in America, we refer to these as, we call them beer. Right, but actually, what would they be called in German?
Steins.
Yeah, right. That's what we call them. But this in German is a Bierkrug. Krug. Right?
Yes.
Bierkrug. And so, there's all kinds of different. I'll pass them around if you want to see them. This over here was the emblem of the unit I was attached to at the German Air Force Non-Commissioned Officer Academy. Their emblem was the phoenix. You know what the phoenix was, right? What was the phoenix there?
It was a bird.
A bird.
Restoration.
What's that?
Restoration.
Kind of resurrected from the ashes. Kind of comes up, and it kind of symbolized the German Air Force, kind of resurrected from the ashes, but built on a democratic way of life, and respecting human rights. In other words, just the opposite of what existed when you were growing up there. And it was such a privilege to serve with them, because they really took the idea of being a citizen soldier very seriously. And I just loved these guys. It was wonderful. So yeah, let me pass this around. You guys have a look. Germans, and any of you guys ever been in or known anyone who've been volunteer firemen? Have you ever had family members that have been?
Yes.
No.
Yeah. Have any of you been a volunteer fireman? No?
Well, I
But
My
you
husband
had-
was a
If we
professional.
counted, because
Yeah.
during my,
Professional.
I was just a kid at the time. But we might, those are in the upper grades of, let's see, junior and senior years of high school. They allowed us, with all the young men having gone. I grew up in a small town, which had a volunteer fire
It
department.
was full of beer, and you
Yeah.
got a handful.
Whenever there was a fire, siren in the town hall. As soon as we heard that siren, we'd just drop everything and run to the fire station, because the first few kids that got on,
Yeah.
well, usually it's brush fire. It wasn't a house or anything like that.
Right.
Just brush fire.
Wow.
But anyway,
Now, what's the little towns you grew up in, Doc?
it was the town of Oxford in Massachusetts.
In Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Is that in Western Mass?
No, it's south of Worcester by
South
about
of Worcester.
12 miles.
Worcester, right?
What I'm really asking is, did the U.S. government or military underwrite what you did, or did the Germany?
Oh, you mean when I was as an
When you
exchange
were
instructor?
there.
When I was an exchange instructor, yeah, the U.S. Air Force paid for pretty much everything.
Everything?
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
Since I was the very first one to do that, there was always a kind of a, well, we've never done this before. Who funds this or that?
Sounds like
one-
military.
yeah, they figured it out, and they figured it out then for the next generations that followed of exchange people. But since I was the very first one to do this, they were kind of making it up as they went along.
Well, see, all of
Could've worked it out.
the only reason I ask that is, to this day, the U.S. military pays for most of the cost of occupying bases throughout the world.
That there, to a certain extent we do, but there is something called a host tenant support agreement that the U.S. government has in every installation in which the host government is required to pay a certain percentage. What that is now, I don't know. I've been retired for 23 years. So, but
Okay.
that host tenant agreement does obligate the host nation to foot some of the bill.
But in reality, from what
They do. They really do.
Okay.
Yeah, having been
But it's like
stationed several
NATO, and
places.
the U.S. funds most of NATO.
We do fund part of it, yeah. But in terms of a percentage of their GDP,
what they're
there's a real
supposed to do,
and
But they don't do it.
anyway. Here's another one. This one I actually got when we got there, and it actually came from, let's see, the town we lived in. 300 years, and it's written in English and German. 300 years of Germans in America, 1683 to 1983. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Chris,
Yeah.
how come we see the signs with the top on it all the time?
I have one of those at home. I didn't bring it because I didn't have any room for it, right? But those were just mainly to, I guess, kind of keep things from falling into your beer, I suppose.
Because you always visual see them with the.
You do, seeing with the tops on it. Yeah, that's true. I do have one of those at home. Probably should have brought it. So yeah, there's a lot of fun things. Doug,
This has a quantity on it. It's a half liter.
it's a half liter. Yep. That's about probably all I could take.